More lives must be lost before we finally admit that mob justice is one of the greatest stains on our humanity. The horrifying images of the Alu 4 remain etched in our memories, a tragedy that shook the conscience of a nation. Years later, their families are still living with the pain of that irreparable loss. Yet, just days ago, another student, this time from the University of Jos, was reportedly subjected to the same savage treatment over an allegation of stealing an iPhone. Have we become so consumed by anger and lawlessness that mere accusations now carry a death sentence? A nation where suspicion is enough to condemn a fellow human being is a nation in urgent need of self reflection. We cannot continue to replace the rule of law with the rule of the mob and expect to call ourselves civilized. Every act of jungle justice is a collective failure of our institutions, our communities, and our conscience. The question is no longer whether this must stop. It is why, after so many painful lessons, we continue to allow it to happen. And now we move to the world of sports and we ask these very, very pertinent questions. Whom should we hold responsible for the Super Falcons' abysmal performance in that shocking defeat to tournament debutant Malawi? Should the blame fall on the NFF for failing to organize quality international friendlies while claiming that other countries were too afraid to play Nigeria? Or the goalkeeper who looks completely out of her depth? Or perhaps the coach whose tactics raised more questions than answers, with several players deployed out of position? Or do we simply chalk it up as one of those painful realities of tournament football? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain: performances like these demand honest reflection. Excuses won't win matches, but accountability, proper preparation, and the right decisions just might. Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Today on ACNN program. I am Raphael Ojalkomo, aka El Rafiki, and I'll be your anchor for today. And of course, I won't be doing this alone, as I have with me my co-anchor, tested, trusted, and tried pilot, Godwin Ujiri. Godwin, good morning.
Good morning, Rafiki. Good morning, Nigerians, and welcome to Today on ACNN, where we bring you the latest of the trending updates and also the latest of sports. So stay tuned.
So I'm going to leave you with a question. We'll answer during the course of the show. Who are your friends? Because that question came from the young man who was mobbed because the person whose phone was allegedly claimed to have been stolen was his friend. So, how do you call that your friend who watched you being mobbed to death over a phone that was allegedly stolen by you? So, I'll leave you that question. Who is your friend? Maybe during the course of the show, maybe you answer that question. When I come, ladies and gentlemen, also in the studio with me, somebody that I'm very excited to see. It pains me because I was not here the week where the World Cup ended, so that we'll have some pertinent discussion. Maybe NURTW guys have decided to wear Argentina jersey or not, but today we're not discussing Argentina. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me the very own, or rather our very own Honorable Victor O. Cooper. You're welcome, sir.
Morning, sir.
No messy discussion.
No, not at all.
We'll come to that, but for now.
Yeah.
But the question I will ask you is this: like I asked in my opening, I said, who do we really blame? Because the reason why I mentioned the NFF was that when they asked the NFF body as to why don't these girls play friendly matches, I remember then in secondary school, even in university, our girls then when they want to train for short puts, let me use short puts, they don't use the short put for ladies. You know the weight is different. They use the one for the guys. So that when they go for their main competition, the one for the ladies feels lighter and so on and so forth. And just some days back, the Nigeria under 20 girls played with the Nigeria under 15 boys. Excuse me. Just to get match fitness, cohesion, know if Okupa run enter here now, I know Okupa don't move, I know how to give my pass, you know. But guess what the member of the NFF said when they asked him why Nigerians are not getting friendly games during FIFA friendly windows, where all countries, even the likes of this Malawi, Kenya, and the likes are playing tournaments, friendly tournaments. He said because all the countries at their approach are afraid to play Nigeria, so they're turning us down. And the question begs, what happened to our local leagues, the female teams? Who will be very glad to face people like Oshoala? I remember Nigeria playing against Benin Republic in a friendly game. After the game, all the Beninois players forgot that they lost to Nigeria. They wanted to snap picture with Oshoala Agbabola, who was on the field. It's like Messi playing against Cabo Verde. All the while, these guys have only seen him on TV. And all of a sudden, you know, it will be a struggle for it to even play safe. How Cabo Verde even play Argentina, I'm still struggling to understand. Because you grew up watching this guy, you watched him all your life. The World Cup you even qualify for, you don't even know, they should say you did good there. And then you are playing with some of them, their idol. So the question is this: do we really have a footballing body? Because I'm going to add this to it. Money that was promised them after they won the last WAFCON and the properties. Do you know it was when they were about to play this game, they were now giving them the paper of say, see your land, see your this. It's not up to 1 year.
It's 2 years.
I will leave you with that. The question still remains this again, Honorable Cooper. So you hold that is, do we really have a footballing body that has the interest of Nigerian football at heart? Viewers also joining us. Of course, what is this show without the chef himself? Also joining us all the way from Delta State is my friend and brother, Comrade Abraham Soko, who is a sports and political analyst. I don't know if I have a question for Soko. If I have a question for Soko, it will be a political question. Soko, the question is this: which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria?
Good morning, Mr. Opiki. Good morning, to Mr. Godwin. Good morning, Honorable Cooper. It's a pleasure to be here today. Please, I don't want to answer any question now.
I will leave you with the question. I will leave you with the question. The question is this: what's happening with APC that even in Delta State they were having meetings and they were beating themselves? What's they happen? Is it different APC? Abi? Is it APC or APC, new APC, Abi, old APC? You know we have MPDP and PDP. Do we not have the same? Where we say if I'm inside the same house, family begin to beat themselves.
That's politics. That's politics. Let me answer for him.
Don't answer. I will leave that with what's it called? Comrade Soko. Also joining us on the show.
During the course of the show, we're going to answer that.
Thank you very much. I like you. I like your confidence. Then, last but not the least on the show is Dr. Israel Okudai, who is a Nigerian professional football referee. Of course, Dr. Israel, this is your own question. Are we now placing football in the hands of VAR? Because we heard the new rules that are coming into the EPL this season. Goalkeepers now have 5 seconds to play goal kick, 8 seconds. And those who want to throw have 5 seconds. And there will be a countdown. You know, for boxing, when they knock you now, they will count 10 for you. Now for throwing, they will count. And we now heard that there's no more wrestling. I know that one, they're trying to talk to us now. There's no more wrestling in the 18-yard box when there's a corner kick. So we'll come to you so you will give us more lights on the new rules in the EPL. Thank you very much for joining us on this show. Last but not the least,
good morning.
Thank you very much. Virtually, joining us later on the show will be Dr. Desiri, the one who comes bearing machine guns without even caring who he hits. Of course, viewers, remember, the most important persons or people right now are you guys watching, because without you guys, we will not be sitting down here. So please remember that you can be a part of this program by calling the numbers on your screen or sending your comments via our various social media platforms also showing on your screen. But first, we would begin with the newspaper headlines that came in early this morning.
All right, welcome back, viewers. If you are just joining us, this is Studio on ACNN, and we are reviewing the newspaper's headlines that just came in this morning. And I will be starting with the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with these trending headlines. It says opposition flares Tinubu's focus on re-election, loses confidence in INEC, and this story can be seen on page 6 there. And then you have the faces of the gladiators, I must say, for the 2027 general election there. And the electoral umpire himself, in person of Joasha Mopiton, at the middle of them all. I just hope that these faces will deliver the dividend of democracy when it comes to 2027. And then we have just by the sideline there on pages 4 on xenophobia, Lesotho woos Nigeria as federal government and South Africa resumes talks. And then also on page 4 we have US to stop visa processing at Abuja Embassy, 24 other African nations. This story can be seen on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. And then just above the Guardian masthead there we have Atiku accuses Tinubu of fiscal recklessness, fault 12.62 trillion naira borrowing. This story can be seen on page 3. And then lastly on the Guardian we have PFIPC scandal, more concerns as the head of service admits lapses in vetting the process. And this story can be seen on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And then moving on, we would be looking at the front page also of the Guardian newspaper. And the Guardian is leading with this trending headlines. It says PFIPC, we failed due diligence on recruitment waiver. And this is coming from the head of service of the Federation there. And then we have some of the kickers there that says in almost 100 years of federal civil service, situation has never happened. Also, we have Accountant General Office admit lapses, blames individual officers for later diversion. And then also we have why we failed to produce a DME. This is coming from the Inspector General of Police. And all of this trending headline can be seen on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then also we have on page 20 there, Nigeria should feel dividends of reformed. This is coming from no other but Okonjo Iweala there, and it has some of the kickers that says federal government must add value to critical mineral before export, and also Africa must move beyond tech consumption, eliminate barriers. This is coming from Cardoso there. And then lastly on page 7, I think this was earlier raised by my uncle, and thank God the paper is picking it. Mob killing. We beat Unijust students to recover missing phone. And this is coming from suspects. And this is indeed a sad one. And we have deceased to be buried in Borno today. And then lastly, on the Vanguard headline, we have Coas name GOC for newly established Army Division. This can be seen on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper.
Thank you very much, Godwin. And then we move to the Punch newspaper with the slogan, the most widely read newspaper. The most widely read newspaper. The major stories there, of course, we can see the fake agency scandal. I think we'll never hear the last of this. Fake agency scandal. Head of service admits mistakes as reps uncover irregular approvals. Head of service admits mistakes as reps uncover irregular approvals. Reps move to secure court order to produce a DME from custody, why we could not produce a DME before Reps Committee. I'm wondering why that's difficult to do. OAGF official confesses giving State House Permanent Secretary letter to a DME. You know how they say there is no smoke without fire. Now we're beginning to see where this whole thing is emanating from. At the top there you have 2026 budget. Government agencies vote 400 billion naira for mosques, palaces, halls. Experts demand zero budgeting over wasteful votes. We have DSS arraigns 5 Ansaru suspects over Oyo school abduction. DSS arraigns 5 Ansaru suspects over Oyo school abduction. For more details on that, you want to check page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Of course, top right, we have Trump immigration crackdown. US arrests visa overstayers at airports. US arrests visa overstayers at airports. And last but not the least, hoodlums kill Lagos dispatch rider for resisting extortion. Hoodlums kill Lagos dispatch rider for resisting extortion. Like I said earlier, these killings no longer feels strange to Nigerians anymore. These are the headlines that came in early this morning. And viewers, remember, you can join us on this show by calling the number showing on your screen and also using all our social media platforms showing on your screen to also be a part of these stories for today. So I come to you, Godwin. I left you with a question. Now, without wasting much time on this, the question is, who is your friend? I asked that question because, like I said earlier on, you know, the boy who was killed is the friend to the supposed owner of the phone that was stolen. How is it possible that you are watching your friend being mobbed? Do you think you can call such a person your friend?
All right. Thank you so much, Raphael. We live in a very complex society. And friendship, I would say, is no longer the way it used to be, especially in this dispensation where we can be friends to people, or the name friend have been bastardized, whitewashed. Because even when you go online with your phone, you begin to know that everybody has friends. My Facebook friend, my WhatsApp friend, everybody seems to be your friend. And the true meaning and understanding of who a friend is does no longer, in the local parlance, we say, does no longer hold water. And that is how bastardized the term friendship have come to be. I'm not speaking for the supposed deceased person or the accused in this case now, but if we check how jungle justice is being meted out to people, most times it is not targeted at killing, unaliving the.
But why do you even do it in the first place?
That is where the case comes. Because one, the friend might be saying, or the supposed person might be saying, I want him to learn a lesson. You want him to learn a lesson. And then this saying of show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. That might be his own thoughts. And we say, okay, let him learn the lesson. And peradventure, he may not do such a thing again. But not knowing that you have just...
You're sounding like you're giving excuse for this.
No, not at all. Not knowing that you have just exchanged the life of your friend to the hands of people who do not, whose
human lives,
your friend's life now holds no meaning to.
True.
You get that is where the test of true friendship now come. because the item that was said to have been stolen happens to be your own. You have every right to free your friend from this allegation, this mob, but you refuse to do it. So in this case, you are not a friend. You are just someone he came to meet in his lifetime, and you ended up being the reason why he has left Judas. The world. You get.
Just like we have Judas among the disciples, who was the instrument that was used to perpetrate whatever he thought he was doing. But like I said, if he didn't do that, the scriptures would not be fulfilled. So we thank him for doing what he did so that Christ can die on the cross for us and save us. One thing I want to also put out there is this. I think people should learn the word friend, because what people call friend now could just be your street guy.
Indeed.
Could be your compound guy, your flatmate, classmate, coursemate, level mate, church. Yes. When people just say, my friend, on the lighter mood, they say you did police van, they shout, my friend.
Your friend.
You guys say, when that friendship starts? When that friendship starts, you did police van, they greet me. When we know ourselves when they greet me like that. So, Honorable Cooper, I come to you with this. Don't you think when this investigations is concluded and those guys are brought to book, the person behind the camera should also face the same punishment? Because you covered it from the beginning, which means you're part of it.
The truth is that the person behind the camera is part of the art.
Definitely.
So, and this is not the first time we are seeing the person behind the camera. We have seen incidents where life no longer matters to us. So you can open your camera to video somebody that is at a death point, and you are even adding sound to it. Just to I don't know what we are looking for. I think the concept of living have to be redefined.
Do you know I say this thing? I'm sorry to cut you. I say this thing, but people laugh at me. I can't even kill chicken. Like I'd rather go and buy it too. If I even watch where they are killing it, I won't eat. I won't be a part of.
Yeah, to eat it because you will feel you will feel it, right? Now imagine that being a human being.
A human being.
And I've come to understand that the people that easily be all this jungle justice, they are even worse than the person that they are even beating.
Yes.
They are in a hurry to beat that person so that it can give a facelift. But they are part
the attention will be taken away from them.
That is why when it came to jungle justice in the scripture, what Jesus did was to just bend down and wrote and said, if you know that you have not done
he without sin cast the first stone.
That you are not, or you are free, then you cast the stones. It's unfortunate that this young man has become a victim of this jungle justice for something that is not investigated.
Yes.
Something that
not even confirmed.
It can be that even the friend will just have hidden that phone, lay allegation on that guy to be beaten, like he said, just to prove a point, but never knowing that
to get to that
lead to death. So I think we have to redefine the concept of living, friendship. I don't rate people as my friends if I'm not first a friend to them. So if everybody have the mindset that I want to be friendly, then I think we cannot defend friendship. Because now we are free friendship on one side, or from one. It's always one-sided now.
One-sided.
Based on benefits.
Yeah.
Based on what I want to get from you.
It's transactional.
Transactional majorly now. So if the young man was, I added something on my status yesterday. I said you can be hated for being nice.
Yes.
Or for being the best in what you are doing.
Yes.
In that room, that guy is his friend. Maybe they are in the same department, and there is reason for envy, jealousy. This person doing so. We cannot tell what really led to this.
That act.
How can you say a friend led his friend to the slaughterhouse?
Would keep praying that God keep us from these frenemies. That's how I call it. Frenemies. People who appear to be our friends, but no, they are not. They are wolves in sheep clothing. And I always say, in a circle, there's another circle that has another circle until it gets to a dot. So the three of us might be in a circle where, at the end of the day, Honorable Cooper and Godwin are in a different circle entirely, and so the circle keeps reducing. We need to keep watch, and like I say, show me your friend, and I'll tell you who you are. We are not even done with the Alufo. We still talk about the Alufo, which was also a case of a friend who lent somebody money and went back to collect the money, and the case became something else entirely. Comrade Soko, I'm coming to you, but this time not with frenemies. I'm coming to you with people who at one point said they knew nothing about a particular man, but now they have come to say they made a mistake. Is the story of the fake agency. I don't know if Comrade Soko is still with us. The fake agency. Now, the head of service has come to admit that they made mistakes, So before that, I think my producer has a clip that he wants to share with us before you answer this question.
What we are saying is that my office received the letter of appointment and the Establishment Act. And based on those documents and also based on the interaction with the representatives of the PEAC and PFICP, they went on to issue the authorized establishment and later the recruitment waiver. We now, having seen all the facts and observed all the documents, concede that we ought to have carried out more due diligence in the discharge of the duties of the office in issuing an authorized establishment and a recruitment waiver to the PEAC/PFICP. Mr. Chairman, if I may explain further, we do know that the PEAC used to exist as an ad hoc organization of its own, and the documents that were presented had PEAC/PFICP. However, like I said, due diligence may have detected whether those documents were actually authentic.
Okay, viewers, after watching and listening to the head of service admitting mistakes that has been done, the question begs, is she the only one that is admitting? Because also I have here OAGF official confesses giving State House Permanent Secretary letter to Adeyemi. So that's two now. We're still waiting for the SGF to come and say his own. Because one thing about this whole thing is due diligence. We have seen situations where an House of Rep member, we found out that he didn't do NYSC. I can't remember, doesn't have certificates, one particular certificate, and he had to step down. The question is, who are those that screened him? We had a situation of a lady in Rivers State who also was in the Rivers State House of Assembly thereabouts, and they came up with, Madam had no results. Had no results. Why you and I here, ordinary to apply for a cleaner job, they'll be looking for master's degree. Now, she has come out to say they didn't do due diligence, hence the situation that we found ourselves. Comrade Soko, I come to you. Why answering even with the APC guy? Is it that they didn't do due diligence with him to find out if he's their member? The way they pounced on him. Because when I saw that clip, I don't think your own member would do you like that. It's supposed to be opposition. If it's even allowed. On this show, we do not support, we don't encourage violence or anything of some in any sorts. But the question is this: that was just on a lighter mood. The question is this: who should be held responsible? We've heard somebody coming to say they are confessing that they are the ones that gave them the letter. the head of service that admit that he didn't do due diligence. But you and I know this thing passes through so many tables. And we know that the SGF cannot come to say they do not know what is happening. So, Comrade Soko, should people at this point in time be resigning?
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Mr. Raphael. This was my point the last time we spoke about this, that we should be very careful when making accusations in this case. We should allow the investigations to run its course. They will be able to know who to blame and who to acquit, as the case may be. And it is very, very commendable that the head of service is coming out now to say that due diligence ought to have been done. Because when you look at the case, it is really, really appalling. It is really, really an indictment on the entire structure that a fake agency would be able to perpetuate such an act. So what I would my take off my annoyance with that hearing yesterday on the part of the head of service, she mentioned that the letter that ought to have confirmed, because she made mention of the fact that that agency had an antecedent, of which I have also, I think I've mentioned on the show. During the time of Wari, there was actually a PEAC commission, I think a Presidential Economic Council or so. And when the head of service and the whole, I think the ministry saw that agency, they actually felt that it was an offshoot of that Presidential Economic Commission. And according to what she said that a letter was communicated to confirm if this was the case. And she also said that that letter was hijacked. According to her, she also accused the ADME of hijacking that communication. Now, the question now is that how is it possible for ADME to have hijacked a communication that is supposed to be secured to the State House? They are communicating to the State House. They are not communicating to the agency now. They are communicating to the State House, which is the presidency now. So how was that later hijacked? That's to say that there's no secure channel of communication between the military and the State House. So I think this is where I think it's not just enough for you to admit failure and say that more due diligence ought to be done. This is time where I think people need to start resigning. I think that is it. And I also want to commend, I will still say it, I commended him last time. I want to commend the Chief of Staff for actually blowing this whistle, because he was the one that blew this whistle. This is something that could have been done under the covers. He could have maybe tried to settle out of court. But it was the one, I think, as far back as November 2025, that it was the one that saw the letter from the Foreign Affairs Ministry, and it was the one that detected that this agency was not actually a real agency. So I want to commend the Chief of Staff, but I think that there are a lot of people that need to answer questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And before I go to Dr. Israel, please get ready for me. I'm coming to you. In 60 seconds, Honorable. If anybody is to resign now because of all this whole thing, I like how Comrade Soko said he commends the Chief of Staff for bringing this to the light for everybody to see. But the question is this: who are those who are supposed? Because in Nigeria we don't resign. But let's just pretend we're in a Senate climb. Who are those that are supposed to be stepping aside now for this, and which is also going to shed more light? Because whether you like it or not, there are so many agencies that might be floating like this.
So many. There are so many.
So what are those that you, in your own take, should step aside?
I will say from what Comrade Soko have said, I commend him how he said it, and he said there was an hijack between the State House and the head of service.
Yes.
From what he said. Now, it therefore tells you that there is a loophole within the State House.
Yes.
Or within the other side of the
head of service.
Now, it will be proper that we start demanding for these people to resign from the State House, which also include, for me, the Chief of Staff, who blew the whistle.
The whistleblower.
The whistleblower.
Because he
knew more. He knew more to this matter.
Okay.
And I believe that some things were not going in his favor. Then he blew the whistle. Then we have to go from there to the secretary of the federation, to the head of service, the permanent secretaries, whoever that have been involved in this chain of fraud, should not just the departmental heads, the head of those parastatals or agencies, we have to give way so that.
Talking about CBN also.
Yes.
Because they have an account with the CBN.
Yes. How the accountant general? How did this people, and nobody in all this chain was able to
detected it?
How can you say they did not do that due diligence? It's a capital failure. It's a capital failure. And thank God somebody have admitted. Say, okay, another person have admitted.
Two of them.
All of them have to admit. All of them. Because this is not just a case of one person doing a fraud. It's not just an hijack. It's an organized crime.
Organized crime. So, Dr. Israel, I'll come to you. Do you agree with Honorable Cooper that this is an organized crime? Because either you like it or not, it was not just one channel that this whole thing passed through. And for a lot of people, they would have chickened out, maybe begged, excuse me, or hidden their face. But this man at DME is so bold, and he's saying, how can they say they don't know me? How can they say they don't know me? Maybe today we don't run this thing together. Why they go to say they don't know me? So, Dr. Israel, I don't know. Do you agree that this is a heist? A failed heist?
I agree, because last time on the show, I said they should do proper investigation. Commander Cooper is saying the right thing. It is because the chief of staff is not benefiting from the process anymore. He's trying to disgrace the rest of them. If he was benefiting from it, will he come outside to I'm not commenting if anything. He's part of the crime. Go down. Two, if you're not benefiting from somewhere, you will come and you will leak their secrets. So I believe they should the CBN governor should be questioned. And everybody they should remove all of them, because I feel that they have conspired to do something, and maybe it's not favoring one person, and they are coming out to
speak
and say this is not right. And going forward, like you said, there should be proper verification on the recruitment processes and every other thing. Everything that done with favoritism and familiarity, and that's why all these things are coming out. So everything should be done well, properly. If things are done well, if screening was done well, if all these things are being done very well, I don't think we'll get to this level of even having all these fake agencies or any other thing. And I believe they planned it all very well. Let me say this last one. They planned it from the beginning, and they've been enjoying it for many years. It's just coming out this time, and it's just coming out this way. Unfortunately, it's coming out this time, and I'm getting to know this time.
Don't be angry.
Going forward, they should investigate other please.
Don't be angry, sir.
Please, I just want to add something.
Go ahead, comrade. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I want to add is that we should be very, very careful of what to say.
Okay.
Because this is in full a national broadcast is going nationwide. You coming out to actually accuse the chief of staff without hard fact, saying that it is because the deal was not very, very good to you. I think that is not really acceptable. The reason I would say it's not acceptable is that the chief of staff, that agency is a 1.3 billion budgeted agency. If the chief of staff would want to make a deal, it is not to now insert the fake agency into the national budget. I think the point I'm trying to make is that if he wants to run a racket, there are other sensible ways of him to actually run a racket.
Give us one. Give us one. Give us one.
Are you with him?
It's almost like the principal. It's almost like the principal secretary of the president. I think it's like we don't know. We are failing to understand what it means to be a chief of staff of the president. He doesn't have to go as far as starting with fake agency to an agency that has
you are speaking as if you are trusting him or you are working with him.
But the point I'm trying to make here is that we should strive to stay within the facts. When you don't have evidence of something happening, you try not to actually come out and air it. That's my point.
Okay.
Mention the state house. You mentioned when we were speaking, you mentioned the hijack between the head of service and the state house. Who should we hold accountable when it comes to the state house?
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable. I have said it before that it is the secretary to the government, I think, what's his name, Akume,
George Akume,
that is responsible. George Akume that is responsible for these letters, this issuing of appointment letters. And the honest truth is that the letters in question have even been confirmed. It was confirmed yesterday to be forged. This is not to say, you have made a very good point. This is not to say that there are not persons within the state house that might act as the loophole, as you rightly said. But that is not enough to actually indict George Akume right now. The investigation is ongoing. I think we should allow the process to run its course before we start projections and making projections.
Okay, Comrade Soko. If I hear Dr. Israel very well, he said you sound like you work in the same office with him and you know what he's doing. We just spoke about friends. Do not put your trust on people like that. But you also said the investigation is still on, and then we'll allow it to run its course, and those who are culpable be brought to book. Right now, only 2 people have admitted to have failed and not have done their due diligence in having this kind of big scam happening in Nigeria. And you know, like I rightfully said, there might be so many other agencies who, either I like it or not, will be learning from this, maybe putting their house together, putting things together, because I don't know how we've now gotten to a point in our budget where we now earmarked 400 billion plus or minus building mosques, palaces, church. In fact, I've forgotten his name. I think he's a member of the House of Rep or thereabouts. Say they want to buy instruments for some church. At what point, the deputy speaker, at what point did we start budgeting for church musical instruments? And they didn't tell us, so that we'll put our church name there, so that they will buy musical instruments for us. So this we're laughing at this these things right now, but people are suffering. We see how this money go into different places that are not meant to be, and then the citizens who we are told that there's a reform that should affect the common man. We still haven't seen it till date. It's still on this show. We talked about how many billion naira that was spent on Nigeria's World Cup, the World Cup we did not go for, and the people that the money was marked for. I've forgotten how they labeled it. The Presidential Support Group. Thank you very much, Honorable Cooper. Presidential Support Group. Billions of naira for a World Cup that we sat home and watched. You begin to understand that these things they carry more weight than we can see. May God, we keep, you know how Nigerians, we say we live on for God. One day, like someone jokingly said, one day, God will answer. They say, when you say, don't judge me, allow God judge me, the person said, if God judge you, will you stand? No, one day God will eventually table our matter, and before you disagree with me, we'll go on a break, and then we'll come back. You continue your disagreement. Viewers will go on a very short break, and we'll be back.
Of Jalingo Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion warmly invites you to Peniel 2026 with the theme, My Case is Different, taken from Job chapter 22 verse 29. This divine gathering is a prophetic and life-transforming encounter marked by salvation, healing, deliverance, soul-lifting music, and more. As God's power moves mightily among his people. Ministering the word, Apostle Joshua Selman, Reverend Isaac Omolahin, Pastor Oloche Adaji, Reverend Canon Sunday Ilo, and other anointed servants of God. Ministering in music, Diocesan Youth Praise Team, choir, and other invited gospel music ministers. Date, Monday, 3rd August to Sunday, 9th August 2026. Daily sessions, morning session, 7 a.m. Ministers Conference, 9 a.m. Evening session, 5 p.m. Venue, the Cathedral Church of Christ, Mayo Dasa, Jalingo, Taraba State. Distance is not a barrier to be part of this program. To follow the activities, join the live broadcast on Facebook at Anglican Diocese of Jalingo on ACNNTV. Announcer, His Lordship, the Right Reverend Nedison Foreman and Mrs. Aminchi Foreman, Bishop, Anglican Diocese of Jalingo. Panel 2026. My case is different. Come expectant. Encounter the power of God. Live transformed. Jesus is Lord.
Have you seen the Lord fail?
That very short break, and I left Godwin disagreeing, and I don't know if he wants to agree, but you know. But first, we still have with me on the show the one that wants to disagree with me, Godwin Nigeria, as we delve into the world of sport. Well, welcome.
Thank you so much. There is not much to disagree, but I before we went on that break, I just wanted to a point. At what point do we as Nigeria, at what point are we going to come to the fact that we are currently running the nation as a criminal enterprise where we have syndicates that are worse than drug barons running the affairs of the administration of key agencies in this country, where you have more or less the heads, like the boss of the cartel, doing things as they feel or as they wish. So for me as a Nigerian, that's
Okay. I think we have a caller on the show. Please, your name and where you're calling from. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, your name, sir.
I want to contribute about the topic of the budget for the building of churches and mosques.
Okay, Mr. Buchi, carry on, sir.
Yeah, what I want to say is that if there's anything wrong in the building churches and mosques, but what I want to say is that if they can convert that money that they want to use to build the church and the mosque and give it to churches and mosques, if there's any way they can do it to give it equally, that money for them to use it to empower their members. That's the major thing.
Can I ask you a question?
That money and empower their members. There are so many members in the church and the mosque that are not having reasonable things to do their business or anything. They can use that money to empower them or to go to school, or they will use it well.
Mr. Buchi, Mr. Buchi, can you hear me?
Not to do structure. That's the main thing that we need.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
The question is, are they actually using that money to build those churches and mosques? Because from what we found out, it was hidden in some agencies. It was people who do findings that found out that this money was kept inside. If they actually want to use to build mosques, I think they will have their they'll be under one particular umbrella. Do you think those monies were actually meant for those things?
That's the Nigerian issue now. Our issue is that the things that we want to do something that, somehow they will do their hanky panky. But we know that one. But what I'm trying to say is that if there's any way that is true that there is money that can bring down for churches and mosques, let them bring that money and give them.
Empower their
then
members.
Don't tell those people, tell them, use this money to empower your members. They will use it to empower their members. I know some churches that are building schools and putting it free. I know some churches that are building hospitals and putting it free. I know, let them use it. And there are so many people that need that money for their personal living. It's when you live as you realize that you live well at the top of going to church. Let them use that and empower them. That's my own contribution.
Yeah.
But if you tell them to go and use that money and go and build mosques, there's some mosques they will build somewhere. Nobody's going there. They will not maintain it. There are some churches that will do somewhere. People are not going there, but people are doing another poverty. Let them use that money to empower people. That's in federal government. They don't want to put money in churches. Let them use it to give the church to empower their members and the mosque.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Buchi. We'll move now into the world of sports. But first, the headlines from the newspaper that came in early. Okay, I have right before me the Punch Sports Extra, which came in very early this morning. And at the top there, we have Amazon begins bid for third Commonwealth title. Amazon begins bid with third Commonwealth title. Of course, you know, Toby Express, as we fondly call her. Beside is Enekwechi, which is shot put final. Enekwechi reaches shot put final. And we have just beside that, Olajide storms into 200-meter semifinals. Olajide storms into the 200-meter semifinals. And last but not the least, at the top there, we have the Wafu B under 20. Flying Eagles seek early semifinal tickets. Flying Eagles seek early semifinal tickets at the Wafu B under 20 tournament. Just underneath there, we have Madrid rule out Vini Arsenal move. Madrid rule out Vini Arsenal move. Below that, we have Bayern ready to extend Kane's contract. Bayern ready to extend Kane's contract. And the last but not the least on the line there, we have Neuer to retire next season. The German goalkeeper Manuel Neuer to retire next season. Then we have at the bottom strip there, from my right, Ajax move trails Aroko Dare. This is a story of one being rejected and all of a sudden is going to somewhere else entirely. And the teams that are rejecting him in the championship, I'm sure, Wolverhampton Wanderers are relegated and were rejecting him, not allowing him to train, and he stood his ground that if they won't allow him, nobody will train that day. The Nigerian Jagoda Spirits came to play, and then of course he's now a player for the Ajax football club. We also have by the side here, Duro Simi opens up on tough Serie A struggle. Duro Simi, one of the Super Eagles' newest boys, opens up on a tough Serie A struggle. Underneath there we have, we'll come back against Zambia. This is coming from the Super Falcons striker Okoronkwo rather. We'll come back against Zambia. I hope they do, because if you don't make it to the semifinals, there's no World Cup. And then we have the story of the journeyman. I call him the journeyman because he has moved from different clubs in a very short while. Orban joins Ahmed Spor. Of course, we know Ahmed Spor is in Turkey to start a new career. I can't remember the team he left, but it's in the Italian Serie A. I've forgotten the team he left in Italian Serie A to join Ahmed Spor. And I hope he finds this easier there in Turkey. Before I read the big story, that's the image there I have. Spurs prepare £55 million Kounde bid. Spurs prepare £55 million Kounde bid. Spurs seems to be signing a lot of people at the moment. They have Tonali. They have a player from Brighton. Robertson from Liverpool. In fact, they have up to like 5 players they've signed. And I think something is happening in Spurs that we're not aware of. And last but not the least, which is the big image there, Golden Arms. How lifters became Nigeria's Glasgow gold mine. How lifters became Nigeria's Glasgow gold mine. A lot of our medals have come from, especially para lifters in the Glasgow Commonwealth Games ongoing in Scotland, there in the United Kingdom. These are the stories on the Punch Sport Extra. To get more details on all the stories, of course, you want to get a copy and get the full gist of what you are. But the first thing I want to table here now is, let me say this. They say it has happened before in 2018 or 2019, thereabouts, when Nigeria lost our first game against South Africa by 2-1 and went all the way to the finals, met the same South Africa, defeated them on penalty shootout and lifted the WAFCON. And the Falcons lost again to Malawi in a way nobody expected. Some of us I was a guest on the show on radio, and I was asked, what's the scoreline going to be? I said, Falcons not to beat them like 4.
Malawi.
Like 4. It's their first WAFCON. They've never been to the WAFCON. But one thing that counts for this Malawian team is the sisters, Temwa and I'm trying to remember the Temwa Chawingwa and the other sister. They are both TT. When they scored the goals and they put the names of the scorers, it was Chawinga. So that's it. Is it one person that scored that trick? And it has happened again. Nigeria has been defeated by 3-2. And the next game Nigeria will be playing will be against Zambia. This same Zambian team, the last time Nigeria played, Nigeria defeated them by 5-0. Now I'm scared to think that we can play this same Zambia, the team who has just defeated the Egyptian team by 6-0. And we need nothing less than a good victory and then go for the last game and win to be able to even come out of the group in the first place. Because this WAFCON is also, it doubles as the qualifiers for the World Cup. The semi-finalists make it to the World Cup. And I think there's other 2 slots for continental qualification to the World Cup. The question is this. I'll start with you, Venerable Cooper. I say Venerable. Sorry. I'm already making you a priest. Honorable Cooper. What do you think went wrong?
Thank you very much. I will commend the teams, the Malawian team. I was surprised we were giving them Nigeria to win Malawi.
Is Malawi?
No, Malawi have one of the best teams in Africa.
Is Malawi? They've never played at the WAFCON.
They have not played, but if you have followed them, you will know that they have good players.
Okay.
Most of them play abroad.
The Chawinga sisters play abroad.
Play abroad, and they I think one of them was even top scorer at one time in the USA. So they have good teams. So I was not expecting an easy game, But fair enough, the Nigerian team played well. They
played well.
Yes, we did well. Even the possession and everything we showed. We had occasions where we could not convert our opportunities, our chances, and we had, our Yibo was not around, so they played Aluze out of position. She did well, and the goals didn't even come from our side
at all.
So we can't blame her. We can't blame the coach for that. But I feel that our progression was too slow.
Okay.
Too slow. Then our delivery. I was expecting him to bring Assistant at some point, but thank God he brought Kanu. And when Kanu entered the game a little bit, had a different attacking strength.
Sorry to cut you. I had a challenge with that setup. Take away Alozie played at left back, of which she did well in the game. And if I went the final whistle went, you needed to see her reaction. If I'm not mistaken, she cried.
Yeah.
She cried because you needed to see how she
was
gesticulated.
Yes.
Do you understand? Now, the question is this. This was the same setup except for Ashley Plumter, who was not in the team. This was the same setup that played against Morocco in the final.
At the final, then we came back and we did.
But now let me surprise you. We didn't score a goal until Ihezue left the field and Ainde left the field. And then we had Echejini coming to play. And then Assisa came in later. Another player came into the game. And the game changed. And instantly we started scoring and won that. And then you decided to go with the same pattern of play. And again, having Okoronko play as your attacker.
As your 9.
When you know that this is the person who gives you the ball. So now she has to rely on somebody to give her the ball.
So, but for me, I believe in this team. I believe in the Super Falcons team. I believe we are going to come back strongly against Zambia.
You feel it's not done and dusted?
No, it's not. It cannot be done and dusted.
Okay.
I've seen great teams lose their first matches and they go ahead.
Spain drew against Cabo Verde and they won the World Cup. They lost against Switzerland in
Argentina,
2010
one of
and they
my
won the World
favorite
Cup.
team.
Argentina lost their first game against Saudi
2022,
Arabia
you know.
and won the
So
World Cup.
what I see that we needed to lose this game so that the morals of this team can be more sharpened.
Okay.
You know, so going forward, I think it will give them a shocker to know that they cannot miss World Cup because Osimhen have missed it.
Of course.
They cannot miss it. So it's going to be a wake up call. And in all that we criticize, let us give this team kudos.
Okay. I'll come to you, Godwin. Do you think the lack of friendly games and preparation cost these girls that game? Or they overrated, or rather underrated the Malawians?
All right. Thank you so much. To answer that, I would want to throw the line of Honorable Cooper, who rightly said that the Malawians team are not just any team that you can clearly underrate. They have the Tabitha and the Tenwa girls. They're doing wonders in that team. But I just want to also hold to the fact that the issue of underrating still has an undertone to a large extent, but cannot be the actual determinant for why they lost that game. A whole lot of euphoria has surrounded this team, and you understand the banter has been thrown with them and the likes of the Egyptian team, bragging on the
10 stars.
the 10 stars and the rest. So I don't know, but I want to rightly believe that our team allowed that to get to their head, and then it affected their play. Then even in the course of play, I did not watch the match, but I followed through with some of the comments. Some Ponzis are trying to say that the Nigerian goalkeeper did not really deliver her best in the course of play for that match. And also, so many persons attributed the absence of Ashley Plumter as one of the key factors in that game and the controversy surrounding her absence, because she also had to come out to make a clear statement owing to the fact that she would have loved to be there, but her heart, her mind, her spirit was with her team. But she saw a whole lot of lapses and loopholes that she feels she would have covered well for in the course of play. But like Honorable said, this loss to a large extent was needed to put them in check as against their next match. It is, and everyone knows that it's never going to be an easy ride for them. They ought to know that they are in a tournament. They're not just there to display themselves as giants, but they have everything to stand and to defend for.
Thank you very much, Godwin. Comrade Soko, I come to you. I don't know, stand to be corrected. I'm very sure you watched the game and you saw how these girls played. Is it going to be fair to single out one player or two or three or even the coach as the reason why these girls lost this game? Because I watched the game and three times Chiamaka Nadoze rushed out of the goalpost, and three times she tried that, three times he scored Nigeria. And especially the first goal, she looked somewhat, I don't know, heavy, because she ran towards the ball and only one bounce. She had no clue where the ball was anymore. Will it be fair to pinpoint and say this person was the reason why this happened, or the coach is the reason why this happened? Comrade Soko.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Raphael. One of the reasons why I like this section of the show is that I tend to agree more with Cooper and Mr. Godwin. You don't have to go to resign and all. I think I think with that, I totally agree with because yes, good teams lose matches. This is even the best teams lose. So I just want to take it as a case of we were not tactically proficient. We had an off game. Yes, it is a lot of persons have come out to blame our goalkeeper, Chiamaka. But Chiamaka has won the the CAF awards since, for the last 3 years. So are you going to say she plays for Brighton a top flight team. She left. She moved to Brighton from Paris FC. We have very, very good players. Alozie plays in USA. So when it comes to players having equality, we have equality. And for even for in this WAFCON, where I think we have won 10 of these editions. So I think it's a case of having an off game. Having said that, in this particular game, we started very slowly, we started very flatly. We allowed the Malawians to actually exploit our defense line. In the midfield, I think our midfield also collapsed. I think Mr. Rafiki in the studio made mention of the fact that we played someone that was supposed to be a playmaker as a top 9. So, in as much as I am not alarmed, I think there's still cause for improvement. One thing I would want to also mention is that we also missed a lot of chances. If we had converted some of these chances, the storyline would have been totally different. So I don't think I am alarmed at this point in time. Going with Mr. Godwin, I think we are also overly confident. When you have consecutively performed well in a particular tournament, there is this tendency for you to be complacent, not knowing that other teams they don't sleep, they are working hard to actually attain your level or close to your level, and that tended to be the case in this particular fixture. I believe that we must have learned from our mistakes, and going forward, we are going to do better, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Soko. I come to you, Dr. Israel. A lot of Nigerians have said they are not serious. They are busy doing content, always dancing, doing this, doing that, instead of focusing on playing football and so on and so forth. Do you think, Dr. Israel, that this loss is going to jumpstart something new that will make these girls look and say, girls, this game we're about to play against Zambia is a do or die, make or ma. If we lose, we are out. Do you think it can have any positive effect on the girls?
Yes, I want to join the others for saying they will come back. I believe when I saw the scoreline, I watched a part of the match, and I went back to still view the highlights. They played better. Let me just say the truth. The Nigerian girls played better because they lost the tactics at some point. They lost what they're doing, or whether they lost focus, or they were overlooking, or they were looking at the other teams like who beat them. So I think this going forward, the next match they will do better and they will come out and win. I believe they will go for semi-final. Just quote Dr. Israel. I am supporting them, and I believe no team will beat us. It's our birthright. We'll go down and take our birthright and come back home.
Is this your birthright that's putting us in problem now?
No, this is our birthright. See, I believe that if you watch the match, as Tomisoko said, they lost or they missed so many chances. If they have contracted like 2, who's Malawi? People will not get it. More plus.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't want to hear anything again. You don't get it. You don't get it. That's the winner. So you don't get it. You don't get it. They don't chop the meat.
But going forward, I believe they will do better. And the loss will make them come back with that. For Zambia, I'm seeing them beating Zambia like 3-0.
We don't come again, no. We have come. The same garments, yes. Now the same garments we wear. So, anyways, I want to strongly believe, and I key into that, Dr. Israel, that against Zambia, we're going to defeat Zambia by more than 3 goals, if you ask me, because I want those girls to get back on their feet. They've done it before, and we believe that they can still do it again. I want all Nigerians to rally around these girls because they are the only ones giving us joy, whether I like it or not. If our men can win 10 Nations Cup, we know where we'll be. We know where we'll go there today. Do you understand me? So please, kudos to the girls, and I wish them the very best of luck as they face the Copper Girls of Zambia on Saturday. From there, we move to the Commonwealth Games happening live in Scotland, Glasgow to be precise, at the United Kingdom there. And Nigeria, as it stands now, sits 5th on the medals table. It's not easy for you to go for the Commonwealth Games and then you're churning out medals. We have 7 gold, 5 silver, and 2 bronze. In total, 14 medals. First on the log there is Australia, who have 103 medals altogether: 47 gold, 21 silver, 35 bronze. Canada, 14 gold, 11 silver, 14 bronze. England, 12 gold, 27 silver, 17 bronze. And the host country, 9 gold. I believe Nigeria will overtake them very soon. 9 gold, 7 silver, and 7 bronze. Last on the log there, if you can see the number 8, there's India, 3 gold, 9 silver, 3 bronze. New Zealand, I think, is following suit. Well, we know how this whole thing plays. So New Zealand there, 3 gold, 7 silver, 4 bronze. And last but not the least on the log, which makes up 10th, is Jamaica. Jamaica has 3 gold, no silver, and 1 bronze. These medals, I know all came from, majority of these medals are from the powerlifting, because we've not really gotten into the main hits of all the athletics, even though the Nigerian young man, I've forgotten his name, came third in the 100 meters men race. At one point, he was leading the race, and from nowhere, people came from behind. I know, as they say, overtaking is allowed. It's still in the Bible when he asked, I think it was David that asked that, should I go? He said, go overtake, but pursue. I know it happened. So, I'll come to you, Comrade Soko. First, I'll ask, how well do you think these guys would perform by the time the Commonwealth Games is wrapped up? Comrade Soko, are you still with me?
Okay, thank you very much. My mic was raised. So I think we're going to perform very, very well. I'm very, very optimistic. I think today on this show I think it's an optimistic show because we were optimistic in the WAFCON, and we're beginning to be optimistic in the Commonwealth also. So I think we have a very good history of performing very well in the Commonwealth Games. In the last game, I think held in Birmingham, we were top in Africa, I think, with 12 goals. We won 35 medals overall in that Commonwealth Games. And I think already we already have about 3 goals already from powerlifting in this tournament. As you have rightly said, the bulk of the games, the athletics, they have not, I don't think they have really started. Our own Toby Express has not taken to.
You could stop putting pressure on that girl.
What?
You could stop putting pressure on her. The last time I put pressure on her at the Olympics, you saw what happened.
To whom
much is expected. True.
She's our shining light. So I think I'm very, very optimistic that we're going to perform very, very well. I just want to add a caveat here. I think why don't we perform very well in swimming? When it comes to swimming, I don't think we have even won a medal in swimming. I stand to be corrected. But with all the rivers and creeks, I think Honorable Kupa will be able to answer that.
I will pause you there, Comrade Soko. I will pause you there. I will pause you there.
Look at the table now. Nigeria is actually topping, and I think that most of their medals have come to.
Not thinking. Majority of their medals came from swimming and also gymnastics. And I'm very, I don't know if I will say I'm ashamed of saying this, and I have all Deltans around me. All of you that should know how to swim, see them. You can swim. It's not pond, though. Okay.
I've said. And what you want to say now is that we need government, we need our leaders in this field and in these categories to bring up, to develop facilities that can help us develop.
Why we an Olympic-sized swimming pool in the Moshood Abiola Stadium here? I don't know if it's even operational.
You carry stadium Olympic size, put for Abuja, where River Day data, and you want us to perform. No. These are the things.
On a lighter.
These are the things. On a lighter mode. No, don't lighten the mood.
No.
There's a region in this nation, in this country, that have how do they call it now? The rivers.
We have River State, we have Bayelsa, we have Ondo, we have Lagos, we have Delta.
But you carry the swimming, the Olympic standard swimming facility and put on the rock. And you expect us to you expect people to develop. What will it take the average debtor to be able to develop? Because you are the one that is going to pay. Comrade Soko knows when we have stadium working then in Delta State. Now only you go buy boots. Now only you go pay your transport, go play the ball. Now only you go buy what you want to swim. You understand? So even the ones we are okay. Look at this guy in Brighton. Nobody knew him before.
Yes.
Zaduk. Nobody knew him. You will sponsor yourself to train. When you are in Australia or in Sweden, they will not go and bring you home. You know, so we have not developed our facilities to harness all the God's blessings. Yes, our potentials. You cannot be talking about, okay, if you go to Boston today, Nigeria as a nation have done well globally on that stage. Most of our people that do globally on Boston did not develop here.
From Nigeria. True that.
Sorry to say. Now, if you go to wrestling now, Obafemi,
yes,
the one in WWE now,
yes,
was speaking in Lagos until he went to US. And today, not up to 2 years, the guy is on mainstream.
He's a champion.
The simple truth is that our federations have to look into these things. We are wasting the rivers. We are wasting the deserts. We are wasting the bushes. We are okay. Ajagba will always say that he used to tear firewood in Ugeli. You.
Yeah. let me just. Anyways, one thing that we can all confirm is that Nigeria has not at any point in time been short of talent. Anywhere, anyhow. If someone said, if you go to a country and there's no Nigerian, run away from that place. We excel everywhere we find ourselves. I remember the days of the Principal's Cup. That's where people like Brown Udio and Gallo. You know, we had the days of National Sports Festival, which is still on. University Games. You got, and these guys, Nigeria is only competing in 10 games. I had the Commonwealth Games for those who may not know. Only 10 games. So when you don't see our medals that much,
what are you expecting?
You might not want to blame anybody. But when countries are competing in over 100 games and you expect to be on the same level with them, I just wish the athletes well, that they do well. Some of them are still, Enekwechi is in the shot put final, and Tobi Amuson was still waiting for her. Usoro is still there for the long jump. Chukuma and Co are still waiting for the 100 meters ladies, even the mixed race, 4x100, 4x400, and what have you, even the 200 meter lady who is also in the semi-finals. We just hope that all these things turn into medals and help Nigeria, because the last Commonwealth Games Nigeria attended, we got 35 medals altogether, and now we just have, I think, 14 at the moment, hoping that things will get better. Very quickly, without wasting much of our time, I want to move into another discussion entirely now. What I have in front of me is we're going to just maybe put 2 or 3 things together. I don't know. I've tried to wrap my head around this UEFA threatening to withdraw from World Cup, involvement over FIFA's controversial investment, because FIFA is trying to sell some of their stakes to private sector, and we know what this World Cup has caused between FIFA and UEFA. And I don't know, maybe Comrade Soko, who is our fact checker, can throw more very briefly, maybe in 60 seconds, put more light into that, the squabble between FIFA and UEFA.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Raphael. We are seeing a situation where football is being politicized. We also saw the situation in the World Cup where Madugu got a red card and the FIFA president got a call
from POTUS,
and that red card was suspended into the future. That is the same situation we are saying, because if you look at
Comrade Soko, why are you not saying the red card that was given to Ronaldo that was not? Why are you calling Trump?
No. See, I understand what you're saying. Let me say something.
Wait, let's allow Comrade Soko to finish.
Let me say something. I understand that what the is trying to say, that there is a precedent for that.
Okay.
That actually happened before. But it did not happen during the course of a major tournament. That was a qualifier. And I think that same consideration would have also been given to Messi, because this is your star. You are going to send the tournament back, but just not at the tournament. But this has not happened during the course of the major tournament before. So that is the difference. On this selling of private stake, I think it is actually political, because the person that is actually championing this says the private CEO is actually related to the son-in-law of Donald Trump. So I think this is an American idea. This is a Donald Trump idea, and that is why the European, the UEFA is threatening to actually withdraw, because I think that they are feeling that world football has been Americanized, and it has become a business. It is that the deal is running into, I think, almost $1.2 billion in sales. So I think Infantino is going in the recent future, there's going to be a very serious back and forth between FIFA and UEFA. And I think in politics too, there's also a very serious conflict between the European Union and America. So I think this is a battle between America and the EU spilling into football right now. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very much, Comrade Soko, for lack of time. I would have loved to touch on so many other stories. I just pray that they don't bring politics so much into football that it destroys the game that we all love and enjoy to watch every now and then. Thank you very much, Dr. Israel, for joining us on this show with your bullets, always firing without holding back. Thank you, Comrade Soko, the one I love to call the chef, who is our fact checker. If you don't have your facts, don't spill it too. If not, Comrade Soko is there to let you know how far. And of course, the one who loves Messi and can never stop talking about Messi, even if the matter has to do with peeling a goosey, Messi has to just come inside. Thank you, Honorable Victor.
Thank you very much. I want to say quickly that UEFA is being biased in so many ways, because I remember doing the World Cup allocations when they allocated how many teams, 11 slots to Africa. It's same UEFA that thinks that they deserve more and they should be the one to call the shots. That's always coming with issue. I don't support any business enterprise to buy any stake in FIFA. But they should know, EU should know that even in the continents, they are very small. They are very small. We should want them more.
Okay. Also, I don't think I'm the one that won them. Also, I want to thank Godwin for helping us pilot this affair. Thank you very much, Godwin.
Thank you.
At least now, even if you don't know what friend is, now you go and find out. You have told our viewers, go and know who your friend is. And like Honorable Victor said, are you your friend's friend? You know, when you say, I'm looking for my type, are you your type's type? Do you understand me? Are you a spec? And so on and so forth. May God keep shielding us away from frenemies so that we don't find ourselves in such situation. Viewers will leave you with the weather reports and the Bible reading for the day. Good day and welcome to ACNN Global Weather Forecast, your trusted source for accurate and up-to-date weather information from across Nigeria and around the world. I'm your presenter, bringing you the weather outlook for Thursday, July 30th, 2026. Whether you're preparing for work, business, school, or travel, we're here to keep you informed with the latest weather conditions. Let's begin with today's global forecast before taking a detailed look at the weather across Nigeria. We begin in Africa, where the rainy season remains active across West and Central Africa, producing widespread cloud cover, moderate to heavy rainfall, and frequent thunderstorms. Areas along the Gulf of Guinea may experience periods of intense rainfall with localized flooding possible in vulnerable communities. North Africa continues under mostly clear skies with hot daytime temperatures and dry desert conditions. Across East Africa, scattered afternoon showers and isolated thunderstorms are expected over elevated regions, while southern Africa continues to experience cool, stable winter weather with predominantly dry conditions. Across Europe, southern Europe remains warm and sunny under typical summer conditions. Central Europe will experience partly cloudy skies with isolated afternoon thunderstorms, while northern Europe continues with cooler temperatures, occasional rainfall, and moderate winds. Turning to Asia, the southwest monsoon remains active across South and Southeast Asia, bringing widespread rainfall, thunderstorms, and humid conditions. East Asia remains mostly cloudy with intermittent showers, while Western Asia and the Middle East continue to experience hot, sunny, and dry weather. Across North America, warm summer conditions continue across much of the continent. Afternoon and evening thunderstorms are expected over central and eastern regions, while western areas remain mostly sunny with dry weather. Across South America, tropical rainfall remains active across the Amazon basin and neighboring countries. Southern parts of the continent continue to enjoy cooler temperatures and relatively stable weather. Across Australia and Oceania, winter weather continues with cool mornings and mild afternoons. Southern coastal communities may experience isolated showers, while inland regions remain generally dry. Here is today's forecast for Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. Northwest, isolated afternoon and evening thunderstorms may develop in Kano and Kaduna. Northeast, warm daytime temperatures continue in Maiduguri and Yola, with sunshine dominating and isolated thunderstorms expected later. North Central, residents across Abuja, Lokoja, and Jos should prepare for scattered thunderstorms and moderate rainfall. Some storms may produce brief heavy downpours. Southwest, moderate to heavy rainfall remains likely across Lagos, Ibadan, Abeokuta, Osogbo, Akure, Ado-Ekiti, and neighboring communities. Southeast, cloudy skies will continue in Enugu, Awka, Owerri, Umuahia, Abakaliki, and surrounding areas. South-South, persistent rainfall continues in Port Harcourt and Calabar. Heavy rainfall may lead to localized flooding in flood-prone locations. Residents in areas expecting heavy rainfall should remain alert for changing weather conditions. Motorists are advised to drive carefully during periods of poor visibility, while farmers are encouraged to monitor rainfall patterns. Marine operators should also remain updated on coastal weather conditions. Thank you for choosing ACNN as your trusted source for reliable weather information. Stay informed, stay prepared, stay weather smart. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of ACNN Global Weather Forecast.
Our Bible reading for today na from Ephesians 2:11 to end. Dis na the letter when Apostle Paul write to the church for Ephesus, verse 11. Make una remember say before una be Gentile people wey dey do wetin the flesh want, and Jew people dey call una people wey dem never circumcise like the way dem dey circumcise human being. That time, una dey without Messiah, and una no get share for Israel blessing. And since una no get hope, and una dey without God for this world, una come be stranger to God covenant wey Him promise Israel people. But through Jesus Christ blood, una wey bin dey fear, God don draw una near Himself, because na Christ be our peace. Na Christ make Jew and Gentile people be one. Him don break the wall wey divide and separate them as enemies. Him don cancel Jew people law with all Him command and rules, so that Him go fit make Jew and Gentile people to be one with am, and like this, peace go dey among them. Him use the suffer wey Him suffer for cross take end their quarrel, come make them one body as them dey serve God. And Him preach peace to una wey dey fear and near. Him use the suffer wey Him suffer for cross take end their quarrel, come make them one body as them dey serve God. And im preach peace to una wey dey far and near, so dat through am all of us with one spirit go fit reach where our papa dey for heaven. So una no go be strangers and pipu wey no get share for Israel blessing again, but una go be God children with all the pipu wey dey im house. Dis na because God don build una on top the apostle and prophets foundation, and na Jesus Christ be the number one stone wey God take lay the foundation. And for inside Christ, the whole building for join together grow as the holy temple for God, and through am God build una together as where im go dey stay through the spirit.